Good morning to everyone present here. Today we discuss about the subject analysis of indeterminate structure, the code 18CV52 for a 5th semester civil engineering students. The module 4, that is flexibility matrix method. Session 1 we discuss about here. The outcome of this course or this module particularly is construct the bending moment for beam sign frame by the student at this end of the session or that end of the module. Myself, presenter Dr. Naveen GM. Then coming to the content of this presentation, that is first one is introduction, second one is flexibility matrix method, third one is stiffness matrix method, method of approaches, then steps in flexibility matrix method, then multiple choice questions. Before going to this flexibility matrix method module 4, let us go for that what are the methods we are studied in previous sessions. In that is slope deflection method, moment distribution method, and also Ganis method. These are the three different methods we studied still, but in that among that a Ganis method is the one of the easiest and simplest method. On that Ganis method, some drawbacks in that Ganis method and also some iterative process will be more. The calculation part and iteration part will be more on Ganis method. Therefore, to overcome that iteration process and the value will be conjugated on that process, we go for the analysis of nowadays a multi-story buildings. In that some frames will be larger and also some bays are more compared to the olden days. Therefore, we require the matrix method to solve that type of problems. On that cases, we go for this matrix method. A consistent form will be formed by this matrix method, and also this stiffness matrix method and flexibility matrix method. These are the two different types in matrix method we are discussed. In that introduction part, the analysis of indeterminate structure is the major field in structural engineering. We know that structural engineering is one of the field in civil engineering. In that, the main two things are coming. That is, first part is analysis part. Second part is design part. If your analysis will be done by manually and also by computers nowadays, but manually the normally minor structure will be designed by manually, but very nowadays difficult high-rise structures, high-rise buildings will be scope in infrastructure. Therefore, we go for a major buildings to analyzing. For that purpose, we go for a computerized analysis field. In that, there are several methods of the analysis. The best among the studies so far is the Canis method that we discussed there. But this method will not be convenient for the analysis of present day, that is multi-story buildings. For multi-story buildings analysis and high-rise structures, the need for the analysis of high degree indeterminate structures and development of computer have give rise to this method called the matrix method. What is that matrix method? We discuss about that one. That matrix method means that consistency values will be formed by a series of elements or series of coordinates. We call it as matrix method. In that matrix method, there are two types mainly, that is flexibility matrix method, stiffness matrix method. Other than these two types, another one is this direct stiffness method. This is also come under the stiffness matrix method also. Therefore, we are not discuss here, that is direct stiffness method. Then flexibility matrix method is also called as a force method or compatibility method. Then stiffness matrix method is also called as a displacement method that will be in that. In flexibility matrix method, the main aim of this flexibility matrix method is to find out the forces. Here forces are unknown. By using this flexibility matrix method, we are know the what are the final forces available in a member will be find out by knowing the displacement. In that stiffness matrix method, the basic unknowns are displacements, but we know the what are the forces acting on a member. That we know the force, we find out the displacement in stiffness matrix method. This is the one of the aim of the stiffness matrix method. We observe this. Here flexibility matrix method, we find out the forces by knowing the displacement. In stiffness matrix method, we knowing the forces, we find out the displacement. This is the vice versa of these two methods, but we are using finally what are the final end moment present in a member by this matrix method. Nowadays, so many methods are there, but this overcoming, we are simultaneous equations are coming that will be processed in the computer itself. N number of simultaneous equation can be solved by computers. Then coming to the what is flexibility matrix method, the systematic development of consistent deformation method in the matrix form has led to flexibility matrix method. Then in this method, basic unknowns are redundant. The redundant forces means unknown forces present in a member. Then the analyst has to first identify the basic determinant structure and thereby identify redundant forces. What is the aim of this flexibility matrix method is first identify the basic determinant. What are the determined reaction present, and also identify the what are the redundant forces. The number of redundant forces is equal to degree of static indeterminacy. The displacement in basic determinant structure due to a given loading and redundant forces are found, and the consistency deformation are formed. This is the unknown. In displacement is known, the forces will be unknown here, that we call it as redundant forces. We aim of this flexibility matrix is to find out the redundant forces by knowing the degree of statically indeterminacy. Then in that flexibility matrix method, how to calculation will be formed. Main thing is the resulting simultaneous equations are solved to get redundant force. Already told that one, simultaneous equations are the very complicated to solve, but n number of equations or n number of unknowns are there means we can easily find out. But number of equation is lesser than the n number of redundant force, we cannot solve. Therefore, we go for simultaneous equation on that cases, we go for that redundant force will be solved by simultaneous equation. Nowadays, we are using this simultaneous equation calculation by computers also. The required quantities at any sections are calculated. The quantity, what are the quantity at that section is calculated here, flexibility matrix method. Then the equations developed are in matrix form. Here the calculation is developed in the form of equations in matrix form. Computer can be used for simultaneous equation. There is no limit. The n number of simultaneous equation can be solved. For number of equation will be handled. Then this method is known as the force, flexibility or compatibility method. In this force are the unknowns. In the flexibility matrix method, by knowing the displacement, we calculated the forces. What are the forces acting on a beam or member? That is compatibility means the n number of equations and n number of unknowns are there means it is very easy to solve. Therefore, we are making a some condition compatibility to calculate the forces on a member. Then what are the different approaches to matrix method are there means first one is that is there are two approaches to the solution of matrix method. First one is direct approach, also called as structural approach. Transformation matrix approach or element approach. What is direct approach means by knowing the displacement we can calculate the forces by directly. In that in your slope deflection method also we can know these things. We can calculate that direct method and structural approach. Transformation matrix approach, some inverse form of values will be coming and also all elements we can calculate the member. That is structural approaches. In that very simplest form is direct method. Therefore, direct method as a clear concept of analysis. Transformation matrix method is ideally suited for developing a general purpose computer program for structural analysis. Therefore, the direct approach is adopted for solving this problem.
Statical indeterminacy and kinematic indeterminacy. The degree of statical indeterminacy, the number of equations required over and above the equations of static equation for the analysis of a structure is known as the degree of static indeterminacy or degree of redundance of the structure. What it means that we know that we have a 3 equilibrium equation and that more than that 3 equations in that particular element or member, we call it as degree of redundance or we call it as degree of statically indeterminacy of a member. Then next is degree of kinematic indeterminacy. What is degree of kinematic indeterminacy means the number of equilibrium condition needed to find the displacement components of all joints of the structure are known as the degree of kinematic indeterminacy or we call it as degree of freedoms of the structure. We already discussed about the what is degrees of kinematic indeterminacy and that we required a more number of equilibrium condition for satisfying the equations in that member or element. Coming to the degrees of freedom of a beam, you see this one, the beam AB, the both ends are free here. How much degrees of freedoms for a beam here? We see this one here 3, here 3. That means that will be degrees of freedom will be 3 at that A support and also P support. Okay, that one is, first one is horizontal, second one is vertical, that one rotation. These are the 3 degrees of freedom at that support A. Similarly, at support B, the horizontal, vertical and also movement at B, that degrees of freedom is 3 at the A and also B. Then at support B, you see this one, you coming to the support B, we see this one, degrees of freedom is one horizontal, another one is vertical, then movement. Here there is no movement, therefore we are considered degrees of freedom at A is 1, that is one is movement will degrees of freedom here. Then at this joint at B, the degrees of freedom is normally 3. We there, one is horizontal, another vertical, then moment is at MB. Then similarly coming to the support B, here you see this one, all vertical, horizontal and movement at B is restricted, therefore degrees of freedom will be 0 at the support A. But at B, the degrees of freedom will be 3. Then coming to the next beam, you see the simple support. Here one is vertical, another is horizontal, then is movement. We are not restricted at the vertical movement, that is one horizontal, it can be moved at horizontally and movement, therefore degrees of freedom will be 2 at this support. Similarly for B, support B, that will be degrees of freedom will be 3. Then coming to the degrees of kinematic indeterminacy for beams. In that we see this one at A, at B. What is that one? Degrees of kinematic indeterminacy means that will be 6. We can move horizontally, vertically and also movement at BMB. Similarly at this end 3, that means one horizontal, another one vertical, then movement. Therefore kinematic indeterminacy is 6 for this member AB. You coming to the next, what is that one? AB. Here we taken this is hinged support. Here there is no movement at vertical, horizontal, only movement at MB, MA, that is 1. Here again horizontal, vertical, movement. These are 3. 3 plus 1, that is 4. Therefore kinematic indeterminacy will be 4. Then coming to this support, that is fixed support at A. How much this member AB means kinematic indeterminacy means here there is no horizontal, vertical and also movement at MA. Therefore degrees of kinematic only 3. This will be the at support B. HB, VB and MB is the kinematic indeterminacy of 3. Here we taken the simple support. How much degrees of kinematic indeterminacy means only 2 plus 3, that will be 5 degrees of kinematic indeterminacy for AB, the span AB. Then multiple choice questions for this session is, that is in matrix method. First question is, the flexibility matrix is always, that will be option will be A, that is symmetric, B is non-symmetric, C is anti-symmetric, D is depending upon the load applied. Your what is the choice of this multiple choice question means your flexibility matrix is always normally is symmetric. Okay, this is the answer A. Why? Because there is no non-symmetric, anti-symmetric and there is no load depends upon it. Therefore your answer will be symmetric. Always the matrix will be symmetric in flexibility matrix. Then coming to the next question. For computational process, deflected primary structure, analyze actual structure should be as different as possible, as similar as possible. It does not matter in between. You see this one, the computational purpose, deflected primary structure, analyze actually structure should be ಏನಾಗಿರಬೇಕು, similar as possible ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. We can simple, okay, we make simple, it will be similar as possible ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. Therefore your answer is B. Then coming to the next one, next question is indeterminate analysis of a symmetric structure is difficult from that of a non-symmetric one. State whether the above statement is true or false. What it means? You see this one, you clearly read this statement. Indeterminate analysis of a symmetric structure is difficult. If you see this one, if your member is symmetrical in matrix form, it is very easy to solve. There is no difficulty in it to solve this problem. Therefore your answer is false. If your symmetrical structure means we can easily analyze it. Therefore we need that statement will be false. That will, the answer is B. Then coming to the next fourth question. Normally, which of the following things may or may not be symmetric to develop symmetricity? Okay, you see this one, symmetricity irbekadre which one will be more compatible with development? That is material property, geometrical property, loading property, and degrees of kinematic indeterminacy. Okay, here we see this one, the material, there is no influence on material, there is no geometrical influence, we can analyze any structure, and loading condition, it can be, load can be analyzed in any structure. Therefore your answer is, that is degrees of kinematic indeterminacy. If your degrees of kinematic indeterminacy is I, we can analyze symmetric things. Therefore your answer is D. Then next question, you see this fifth question and last question in this session. How many compatibility equations should be written if we have n number of redundant equations? In that case, what is that one? N number of redundant structure. Okay, we can see this one, n number of redundant reaction means we require how many equations to solve redundant reaction? That is A, n minus 1. That is if your unknown is 3, the 3 minus 1 is 2. Here your unknown is 3, that is 3. If your unknown is 3, 3 plus 1, 4. If your unknown is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay, we already discussed here in this session, the number of redundant is equal to the number of unknown equations, known equation. Okay, therefore your answer is that equal to the number of redundant reaction. Therefore your answer is B. That will be B answer. Then these are the some references we are referred for this session. That is these are the references books we can refer for this session. Thank you for your patience to listen this session. Thank you one and all presented. If any questions, please call me.